The California 154 passes over San Marcos Pass in the mountains above Santa Barbara and is a great scenic drive to get into the Santa Barbara County wine country if you're coming from anywhere south like LA. So even though this part of the 154 into Santa Barbara isn't the longest drive, there's still a lot of great places you can stop and do some short hikes while seeing some great views over Lake Cachuma into the mountains, and you can even see some ocean views to the side while you're driving. Even though there are a lot of great places to stop on this drive, the main reason I wanted to come here is to see Lake Cachuma 100% full in 2023 after the recent rains got rid of the drought in this area. Along the first section of the drive, you can actually see down towards Santa Barbara and out towards the ocean on one side of the road. The best time to do this drive is definitely in the spring because you'll be able to see all the native plants along the road in bloom with green mountains in the distance, and you'll be able to see the full water level of Lake Cachuma if it's rained normally that year. Before you get to Lake Cachuma and the other stops, the road passes over the Cold Spring Canyon Bridge, which is a steel arc bridge that's actually the highest bridge in California. This bridge opened in 1964 and it's 400 feet above the canyon floor at its highest point, and it was designated a historic civil engineering landmark and one of the highest bridges in the United States. The first vista point I stopped at is right after the Cold Spring Canyon Bridge and slightly before Lake Cachuma. This is a upper vista trail. Supposedly it's like 500 feet. Not sure where it goes, but we're gonna go see. It's on one of the first vista points on the 154 here. Never actually been on this trail or this short path, but we'll see what it is. All right, this is what's at the end of that quick 500-foot asphalt path at the first vista point. Just a view over these mountains here, and if you get up on one of these rocks, you can see a little bit of Lake Cachuma in the distance. Right now it's February 2023. It's had a ton of rain in California. This area is actually officially out of drought. Lake Cachuma is 100% full. It's spilled. That's gonna be pretty awesome to see when we get there, but for now, just the first vista point on the 154 and some coast live oaks and pines at the end of this little path. Make sure to also just check out the view right next to the parking area before you leave, because you can still get a pretty awesome photo opportunity of the mountains and the trees in the distance. As soon as you start driving near Lake Cachuma, you can see how big the reservoir and the surrounding areas really are, because a lot of these areas were actually dry when this place was in drought a few months ago, but now they're all filled up with water again, as you can see here. short drive from the first stop brings us to our second stop at Lake Cachuma to check out the views over the lake and the dam. You can drive right into the parking area where you can get some great views of the dam, and a short walk takes you to another great view of the lake and a short trail down to the edge of the water. So if you just walk to the end of the parking area, you'll get a pretty nice view over Bradbury Dam at Lake Cachuma, which actually spilled for the first time in 2023 recently after not spilling for over 10 years since the lake was at low capacity due to drought. Coming here anytime in the last 7 or 8 years, you would have been able to see exposed rock on the side of the lake where the water level used to be, and now that it's at full capacity, you can't see any of that anymore, and the water level looks completely normal. While you're stopped at Lake Cachuma, definitely take the Sweetwater Trail down to the edge of the water, as this definitely isn't a full-length hike, and you can easily finish it for some quick views and photo opportunities in less than a half hour. It stays on a hill over the side of the lake for most of the trail and passes through some great areas of plants and wildflowers that you can see along the way. The whole trail is less than a mile round trip, and you'll get to go right down to the edge of the water. So we decided to go a little bit down the Sweetwater Trail. It's this short hiking trail at the Lake Cachuma Recreation Area. You can see the reservoir right here, 100% full after the 2023 rain season. This is awesome to see. Apparently this place and the dam here hasn't spilled over since 2011. So it's pretty awesome to see it 100% full again. It's definitely beautiful here today. You can see some of the wildflowers starting to bloom. Clear view, partly cloudy, so great day to see this. So we're not going to be doing any full hikes here today, but we can take a little bit of a walk down the Sweetwater Trail here just to get some better views than you can get at the main vista point. Walking through some coast live oaks here just to get a little bit closer to the water. So after the trail comes out of that grove of oak trees, it pretty quickly gets to the edge of the lake. So we could get pretty close to the edge of Lake Cachuma here, and you can see all the wood floating in the water because most of the water that filled up this lake comes from mountain runoff that goes through groves of trees. So we just checked out that Sweetwater Trail. It goes right down to the edge of the water at Lake Cachuma. Get a really nice view out over the lake. And now we're just gonna go back up and check out the regular Vista Point for a second. So the regular Vista Point for Lake Cachuma, aside from that trail, is right next to the area where you can view the Bradbury Dam from the parking lot. So that's pretty much the end of the stops that you're going to get on the 154 by San Marcos Pass after Lake Cachuma. So I just decided to go explore Solvang and Los Olivos for the day after finishing this part of the drive. So even though there are a lot of great places to eat in Solvang and Los Olivos, if you don't want to eat there and you're coming back home south, then you can stop in the Funk Zone in Santa Barbara and find a great place to eat there. There's a lot of great places to eat in the Santa Barbara Funk Zone, but I just decided to try out the Brass Bear and sit outside in the back. I ended up getting a burger with some spicy grilled zucchini, and I definitely recommend it if you come here because it was really good. So that's the end of this video for now. Thanks for watching, and as always, if you enjoyed, please remember to like the video and subscribe for more content like this in the future.